Okay, so I'm starting the class. Okay, so here, if you see, in the last week, we were discussing various things. So, one of the things which we arrived were was the EMF equation and the short pitched and in the short pitch, how the pitch factor is taken care of, and in the distribution factor, how to take care of the distribution. Okay, but in the last assignment, we were not able to finish these two questions. Okay, so I'll be discussing these two questions in the end because you will see that these two questions are actually from this week's assignment. Okay, if when we will discuss this week's assignment question, then you will see that okay, you can relate this question to this week's assignment. Okay, so I'll be discussing first the present week's assignment, then I'll go back to this question and it will be very easy for you to understand. Okay, so let us start with this week. So here in this week, so let us start. So let me go here. Okay. So here if you see this is the assignment 4. Now in the assignment 4 we will be seeing what is called as a distribution table. Okay. So this kind of distribution table you can obtain in a three-phase machine because you will see that what we have like we discussed, right? We have like in the stator we have slots. Right, like this, the slots are there. Now these slots are like distributed in circular cylindrical way, but we have shown it the lateral view. Okay, now in these slots, what you can do is that you it can this these slots can be they have single layer or double layer. Now, what does this single layer double layer means? I have explained, but I'll explain it again. So single layer means like this, that you can place only one coil per slot. Okay, this is a single layer winding. This is very significant because when I'm drawing the winding, this distribution of the windings table. Now in that table, depending on whether you have one coil per slot or two coil per slot, that table will vary. Okay, that is why I'm discussing this again. Now here you may also have two coils like this. So you have two coils per slot. Okay, this is double layer winding. Now you see the naming also is done like this. Suppose this is the slot number 1. Okay. So here it will this will be referred as 1, but here this top one will be referred as 1 and this bottom one will be referred as 1 dash. Okay. Like this is naming is done. This is just the nomenclature. You just have to understand this because when we are drawing the table, so in the table you will see there are some dashes, right? So this dash means that bottom, what you say, bottom hole in the slot. Okay, and this top ones means the top hole in that slot, particular slot for a double layer winding. So this is very important to understand. So I am writing this down, the various nomenclatures. Now you will see here that we I have discussed that for a double layer winding, number of slots equal to number of coils, and for single layer winding, number of coils is equal to number of slots by 2. Okay, this is the thing which you have to remember. Okay, these are the things which you have to keep in your mind. Now let us start with one example. Okay, one numerical example. Then we will relate our these what you said definitions here. Okay. So let us say that we have what you say 12 slots. Okay, and we have two poles. So this is a two pole machine having 12 number of slots. So you can see that the 12 slots are indicated here. So this is slot 1, slot 2, 3, 4, like this 12. Okay. Now let us say that, so you see, let us say that this is a double layer winding. Okay. So for double layer winding, this is what is the thing which I have written here also, that total number of slots equal to total number of coils. So it means that there are 12 coils. Okay, since the number of slots are 12, so there are 12 coils. Okay, now what we have to find, so first of all, let us say that it is a full pitched coil. Okay, in the last class we have seen a short pitched coil. In the last class this assignment question, let us, for now, for understanding, let us take an example of a full pitched coil. Okay, so for a full pitched coil, we know that the coil span is equal to, because full pitched means like this, that you have north pole, okay, and you have south pole. So these are, suppose, the slots like this. So first of all, what is the slots per pole? So slots per pole for this example is 12 by 2, 6. So there are 6 slots under North Pole and there are 6 slots under South Pole. Okay. So you will see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this seventh one. Okay. So 6 slots are under North Pole, and from 7 to remaining, what you say, 12 are under South Pole. So if it is a full pitched coil, then what will happen is that this is the, you see, slot number 1, and this is a slot number 7. So what is happening, this is starting from slot number 1. So let us say here, so this is starting from slot number 1, and then it is going to slot number 7 under south pole, so that the maximum EMF can be induced. For full pitched coil means you will have maximum EMF induced, because the pitch factor will not reduce your EMF. Okay, pitch factor will not come into place. So here you can see that, so till here you have under north, and beyond this you have south. Okay, so you can see this is from 1 to 7, so here it is indicated like this, so 1 to 7. Okay, so we know that what is the, so if you see what is the coil span, so we know coil span in for a full pitched winding, because coil span means the distance between the two conductors in a coil. Okay, so this is a coil span. So we know that the what is the angle between the, what you say, north pole and south pole. So you will see that the, what you say, this angle between the north and south pole, electrical angle between north and south pole is 180-degree electrical. Okay, so this is electrical, 180-degree electrical. So we know that because our conductors are situated, one conductor under one pole and another conductor under the another pole. So we know that, okay, this is 180 degrees. Okay, you can also find it like this, like in, suppose, you can say that, okay, this is a full pitched coil, so we know 180-degree. What will happen if it is a short pitched coil? Okay, so so I'll give you a generalized way of finding this coil span. Okay, irrespective of whether your this whether your coil is full pitched or short pitched. Okay, so let us say that, so we have found slots per pole, right? And we know that in one pole angle is 180-degree electrical. Okay, so what is the what is the angle of one slot? Okay, so what is the slot pitch? So it is, total angle is 180-degree. So six slot pitches, like six slots, make up 180-degree. So one slot pitch will be equal to 180-degree by 6, okay, which is 20-degree. So beta is 20-degree. Okay, now we know that here our first coil is under 1 and next coil is under 7. So there are like how many coils in between? How many slots in between? So let us first, let me go back here. Okay, again, this problem has started. Okay, I'll have to shut this down and again start. Okay. Huh. So I was discussing the basic things here. So these basic things, because we will be what you say making a distribution table. Okay. So for going into the making that binding distribution table, we have to understand these things properly. Okay. So I was saying that in one slot you have, if you have one coil per slot, then it is called a single layer winding. If you have two coils per slot, then it is a double layer winding. Okay. And I have discussed this already, but it is very important to keep in mind that for a double layer winding, number of slots is equal to number of coils, and for single layer winding, number of coils is half of the number of slots. So, for understanding this whole how to what is how to apply these formulas, let us consider a numerical example here so that you will understand what is happening. Okay, so let us say you are given a machine which is a two pole machine having 12 number of slots. Okay. So because it has 12 number of slots and two poles, so here are the 12 slots drawn. Okay, and which is under this north pole and south pole. Okay, now slots per pole is how much? So if a question is given to you, what you first thing you which you have to find is slots per pole. Okay, so when you write slots per pole, you will find, okay, there are six number of slots per pole. Now whether your irrespective of whether your coil is full pitched or short pitched, we will see one generalized formula of finding what you say the coil span. Okay, so for a full pitched winding, you know that we have seen that for a full pitched winding, what we do, that but one end of this coil is put in one first slot under the north pole, and the second end of the coil is put in the first slot under the south pole. So we know that slots per pole are six. So till 1 to 6 number of slots belong to north pole, and from 7 slot number 7 to slot number 12 belong to south pole. So what is happening? One end of the coil is in first slot of north pole, which is the slot 1, and the second end of the coil is under the first slot of south pole, which is the seventh slot. So this is the coil span. So if it is a full pitched winding, so here you can see that sir has also drawn like this, that first so he has put first conductor under first slot and second conductor in the seventh slot. Okay, so because this is a full pitched winding, so your coil span is equal to 180-degree, because we know that under one pole the total angle in electrical degrees is 180-degree. Okay, now we will see one generalized way irrespective of short pitched or full pitched coil to find the coil span. Okay, because these are very common questions, so I'm discussing these things using an example. Okay, so here we will see, so first of all, if what you have to do is you have to find beta. So what is beta? It is the slot pitch. Okay. So how you can find the slot pitch? So first of all, you find out what is the number of slots per pole. So we have found that, okay, there are two poles and there are 12 number of slots. So slots per pole is 6. Now we know that one pole angle is 180-degree electrical. So what it means that 6 slots are making up the 180-degree. Okay, so one slot, what will be the one slot angle? It will be 180-degree by 6, which is 20-degree beta. Now how to identify the coil span? So for that you have to see where is the conductor placed. Okay, so in this example the conductor is placed at 1, and then the other conductor and other coil end is placed at 7. So it means that there are 6 slots in between. So 6, for 6 slots, what will be the angle? So coil span is equal to number of slots between. So let me maybe use other color. Okay, it has become very messy. Hmm. So coil span is equal to what? You can identify the coil span by looking where is the, so you will see in the distribution table you will be given by this information that, okay, the one end of the coil is in 1 and the other end of the coil is at 7. It may be at 6. Okay, depends on that. So you have to identify the difference of coil ends, slot difference of coil ends. I hope this is understandable into beta. Okay, so this is what is the coil span. Okay, so if suppose if instead of at 7 it was placed at 6, it would still be under north pole only. Okay, so this angle will not be equal to 180 degrees. So how, what will be the angle? So 6 minus difference slot, what you say, uh, slot difference of coil ends. So let us say the first slot is 1 and second slot is 6. So coil difference will be 6 minus 1, 5. 5 into beta which you have found, which will be 100 degree. Okay, so okay, so coming back here, as I was saying, this is slots per pole. So slots per pole is there, no one is saying this is 30. Okay, so this is 30. 6 180 degree by 6 is 30 degree. Okay, this is 30. So if suppose this is instead of keeping it at 7, if this is kept at 6, so 6 minus 1 is 5 and 5 into 30 will give you 150 degrees. Okay. So in this way the coil span will differ depending on where are the coil ends placed. Okay. In which slots the coil ends are placed. Okay. So now, coming back to this example, in this example, the coil ends are placed in 1 and 7. So you can see that 7 minus 1 is 6 and 6 into 30 gives you 180 degree, which is the coil span. Okay. So this is the generalized way of finding the coil span. Okay. So now let us now see each of the coils and what are the coil groups. Okay. So let us see now. So first of all, so now we will try to find the number of coils per phase, which is denoted by M. So why we are doing this, you will understand. So you will see that here we have first categorization is the north and south pole, right? So this is the one categorization. On this axis it is north and south pole, and on this axis I am denoting it as phases: R phase, Y phase, B phase. Okay, now let us try to find out what is the number of coils per phase. So first of all, we know that uh, so this is not M, so M is slots per pole per phase. So we have 12 slots divided by 2. Okay, so which gives us 6 slots per pole and divided by phases. So 6 by 3, 2 slots. This is 6 slots per pole and this is 2 slots per pole per phase. Okay, so this is 2. Now, so now what we will see is that, okay, so we are starting at suppose R phase. So we are saying that, okay, R phase, we are placing the first winding. Okay. Now from, so we have to complete this table. So let us see how we have to complete this table. Okay. So first of all, because this is the coil span. So coil span, this because this is a full pitched coil. So coil span is equal to slots per pole, which we have found out to be 6. So that is why when we are starting, so I am drawing it fresh here. So when we are starting from 1, so where we have to end 1 plus 6, 7 dash. Why the term 7 dash? Because you see in double layer winding, you have in one slot you can place two ends of the coils. So the topmost end of the where you can place the coil, topmost part is denoted by suppose 1, and the bottom part for slot 1 is denoted by 1 dash. Okay, so 1 dash indicates the bottom one. Okay, bottom end. Now where will be the so now from 1 you are going to 7 dash, and because you have two slots per pole for phase, so after that one slot is done. Now second slot is where 2 to 2 plus 6, which is 8 dash. Okay, so there are two slots per pole per phase. Okay. But now we suppose now we have to go to North Pole. Now North Pole, where it will be? So we know that the angle difference between South and North Pole is 180 degree, and in our case 180 degree is equal to 6 slots. So I'll show you that this gap 1 to 7 dash, so 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 that it is clearer, so I'm writing it again so you will understand which is what. Okay. So 1 to 7 dash and 2 to 8 dash y b. So here I am writing that this 1 to 7 dash indicates what? It indicates coil span. Okay, this indicates coil span. So it will be mentioned in the question, okay, whether it is a full pitched coil or whether the coil is short pitched by two number of slots. Okay, so you can identify. So full pitched coil means, for full pitched coil span equals to total slots per pole. Okay. And if it is, so after finding out, like if let us say short pitched by X number of slots. Okay. So let us say coil span is S. Okay. So short pitched by X number means, so so coil span will be S minus X. Okay. So like this, you can find what is the coil span. So here, because it is full pitched, so the coil span is equal to slots, total number of slots per pole, which is 6. So 1 plus 6, 7 dash. Okay. So let us say it is short pitched by X equal to 2. So what will happen? So total number of slots per pole is 6. 6 minus 2 becomes 4. So here the coil span will become, in short pitched case, 1 plus 4 is equal to 5 dash. Okay, like that. So this is coil span. But this angle between north and south pole remains 180 degree. Remember. Okay. So this difference will be 6 slots. So here it was 1. So 1 plus 6, 7. Remember, I have written 7, not 7 dash. It means that the first end of the coil is starting from the top, okay? And the end of the coil goes to the bottom place. Okay, so the first starting end of the coil goes to the top position in the slot, and the bottom uh, the end of the coil, the last end of the coil goes to the bottom of this slot, so which is indicated by dash. So here it is 7. So 1 plus 6, 7. Now again 7 to what will be the coil span? 7 plus 6, which is 13 dash. Now remember, there is no 13 dash because it is 12 number of slots. So it means 13 minus 12, that is the far end. So this is 1 dash. Okay. Now similarly 8, because 13 indicates 1, because after the 12 you will get 1. So 13 means that from 12, after 12 you are returning to 1. Okay. And then 8, you will see 8 plus 6 is 14 dash, 14 minus 12, which is 2 dash. Okay. So like this you will write for R phase. Now let us see how to write for Y phase and B phase. So we know that beta is equal to 20 degree. Okay. Now, what is the slots per phase? So the slots per phase is how much? So slots are 12 and phases are 3. So 4 slots per phase. So 4, so so basically what will happen? So you will see that so this beta was 30 degree first of all. So you will see that here the beta was 30 degree, 180 degree by 6, 30. Okay. So now Beta is 30 degrees, so 4 slots. So why slots per phase? Because we know that in a three phase winding, so what is the kind of distribution? So first of all, you place your, suppose, first conductor at 0 degree, then the second conductor, so for first phase this is 0 degree, then for B phase it will be 120 degree lagging, so it will come after 120 degree. Okay, so this is 120 degree and this is another 120 degree, so this is C. Okay, so this is a three-phase uh, balanced winding distribution. Okay, so for three-phase balanced winding distribution, this is how it is done. Basically, 120 degree has to be taken care of. So you can see that four slots means 4 into 30, 120 degree. So for this case, the four slots indicate the phase difference of 120 degree. So if I'm placing this at 1, so after 120 degree, I have to place it at Y. So 120 degree for this case is 4 into 30. So 4 into 30 gives 120 degree. So it means 4 slot. So 1 plus 4 is 5. So here it will start at 5. And then what is the coil span? So coil span is from 5 plus 6, which is 11 dash. And then from 2 again another 120 degree. So from 2 it will be 2 plus 4, which is 6, and from 6 it will go to 12 dash. Is this clear what I did right now? So is this clear, Shivankiri, Abhitej? So if there is any doubt anytime, please ask, okay? Because this is very important. It is very important to, someone is saying something? It's clear, right? Hmm. Yes, yes, that is what I was saying. So I was saying 120 degree. It accounts for 120 degree. Hmm. Hmm. Yes, yes. It will change depending on the number of slots. Okay. It changes because what we want to do is it depends on the number of poles, it depends on your number of slots. Okay. So this will not remain. You have to find this out like this. Okay. Yes. Number of slots you have to identify and then it will be placed like this. Yes. Okay, so I'll say that. So for full pitched coil, basically you will get maximum EMF. Okay. And short pitched means what? Short pitched means like you will get pitch factor into place. Right. So from that, if it is full pitched coil, you will see that your pitch factor will come out to be 1. But if it is short pitched, it will be less than 1. So you will see that your total EMF per coil or EMF per phase will reduce as you reduce the, if you make it short pitched. Okay. Hmm. Mostly it is EMF. EMF is mostly what you say, or what you can say that it gets reduced. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'll have to again, what is happening that if I'm going on that side, this I'm not able to access. Okay, so I'll have to again close this PPT and again open it. There is some issue with the computer. Okay. Hmm. Now, so this is how so you have to calculate that corresponding to 120 degree, what is your number, what is the slots. Okay, so you can do it by finding slots per phase, or you can find that okay there are 12 number of total slots and number of phases are 3, so slots per phase is 4 slot. So in this way you can find 4 slots, or once you have found this beta you can see that okay how many number of slots will give you 120 degrees. So 4 into 30, 4 slots will give you 120 degree. Okay, so like that you can identify where will the Y phase start. So similarly let us write for B phase. So this thing you can complete. So here So I'm writing it here only. Okay, I'm completing it here. So this is 5 11 dash 6 12 dash. Now again, from B to C phase there is a difference of 120 degree, means there is a difference of 4 slots in this example. So 4 slots means 5 plus 4 9, and then 9 plus 6 is how much? 15, which is not possible. So 15 minus 12 3 dash. Okay, then 10 to 4 dash. So here I am, so here this, so this difference, so let me write it like this. So this difference is 120 degree, this difference is 180 degree. Okay, and this gap in between is coil span. So this is coil span. Okay, like this. So here also you can finish this. So from 5 180 degree means 6 slots, so 6 plus 5 is 11. Now from 11 to 6 is how much? 11 to 6 is 17, but 17 minus 12 is 5 dash. Okay, then here 6 plus 6 is 12, which is the last slot, and 12 plus 6 is, you will get 18, and 18 minus 12 6 dash. Okay, similarly here also I'll write this down. So here this is 9 to 3 dash. So 9 plus 6 is 15, 15 which is not possible. So here it will be 3, and from 3 to 6 is 9. Okay, 9 dash. Then 4, 4 to 6 is 10 dash, like this. So this is what is the, so this is how you will finish your distribution table. Okay, so here you can see that, so I'll tell you. So this is called a coil group. Okay, this is called a coil group. Basically, what are the, so coils per pole per phase form one coil group. Okay, so you will see that in our last class, there was something called as coil group, right? So, find the RMS value of the EMF generated per coil group. So that is why I'm discussing these things, which, so this basically this question was related to present assignment more. Okay, that is why I'm discussing this, and then you will see that solving that previous question will become very easy. Okay, so okay, this problem is coming whenever I'm going somewhere else. Okay. So now this is the case. So you can see that in general, we connect the coil groups, the group one, suppose this is group one, and the other groups in series. Okay. So you will see that in general, unless specified, okay, coil groups are connected in series to obtain maximum EMF per phase. Okay, so that is very clear, because if suppose this coil group has, let us say, 30 volt, then again this coil, not coil group, let us say this coil has 30 volt, then another this coil is 30 volt, so 30 plus 30 60, then another 30 plus 30 60, so 120 volts you get like this. But if suppose you connect these coil groups in parallel, so if you connect coil groups in parallel, it will be like 60 parallel to 60, which will make it to be 30 volt. Okay, so you will see that um, that is why we can, for getting the maximum EMF, you have to connect coil groups in series. So unless anything is nothing is specified, so you have to, when anytime if it is asking you to calculate EMF or something like this, if it is not specified, you have to take it into your mind that these coil groups are connected in series. Okay. So they here in this slide, this connection diagram is shown for each of the three phases. Okay. So this is for one R phase. So you can see this is one coil group. Okay. So you can see coil group is this cell which corresponds to one phase and one pole. So that is why coils per pole per phase, meaning coils per one pole per one phase. So total, so that will form one coil group. Okay. So now let us see the assignment question. Then these things will become more clear. Okay, as we keep on solving the questions. So here you can see that we are provided here with this table. Okay, so this is the winding table which we have to complete. So first of all, what so this is they are saying that this is a six pole machine. Now you see the very basic question which they are asking you is coil span, which I also said that first thing which you have to find is the coil span and beta. Okay, these are the important things which you will be using continuously for these kind of questions. So you have to understand what is the coil span and you have to understand what is beta. Okay. So let us see now. So you see, so we will see a generalized formula because you will see what. So first of all, so you have to find out what is the total number of slots. So you will see that this 54 dash 54 indicates the total number of slots here. Okay, they have provided you with this here. How I have said that, because you see that here so you will see that, okay, that this is 54 slots. So they it may be mentioned in the question that this is a 54 slot machine, and if not, you can just identify the maximum number of slot here. Okay, once you identify the maximum slot number, that is the total number of total number of slots. Okay, so total number of slots are 54. Now what is the slots per pole? So slots per pole we will write down first. Slots, so we have to first find the slot pitch. Okay. Because we don't know yet whether it is a what you say a full pitched coil or a short pitched coil. We do not know that, right? So how do we know whether it is a full pitched coil or short pitched coil? Okay. So for that, what you do is you can find it like this. You can do it in two ways. One is you find slots per pole. So you see 54 by 6 pole machine. Okay. So this is a 6 pole machine. So 54 by 6, which give you 9. So what should happen is if you're starting from 1, so if it were a full pitched coil, so it would have been 1 plus 9, which would have been 10 dash. Okay. For a full pitched coil. Full pitched coil means one end of the coil in under north pole and another end of the coil in south pole. Okay, so another end of the coil is 10 dash. So oh sorry, 10 dash, but you are not, you see from 1 you are not putting it in 10 dash, you are putting it in 9 dash. Okay, so we know that, okay, it is short pitched by one slot, right? So instead of 10 dash you are landing at 9 dash. Okay, if you cannot do like this is one way of doing this is the method one. Okay, of finding whether this so you do like this, or the method two is if you do not know, then what you do is you use this formula, that if you the coil span is what, coil span is the slot difference of coil ends into beta. So first of all we find, so they have used this method too. Okay, so so this coil span is equal to slots difference of coil ends into beta. So what is beta? So we know that mm, here we have, so here, so we know that 9 slots, so slots per pole, so slots per pole are 9, and for one pole it corresponds to 180-degree electrical. So one slot pitch will be equal to 180 degree by 9, which is 20 degree electrical. Okay, so beta is 20 degree electrical. So you know that, okay, in one pole you have, under one pole, the one pole pitch is 180 degree. Now, the how many number of slots per pole are there? For all the slots that pole, all the slots in one pole make 180 degree. So one slot will make how much? So if like that, you can find out 180 degree by slots per pole. So in this way, you will find beta. So beta is 20 degree. So here, let us see. So slot difference of coil ends. So you see 1 and 9 dash. So 1 9 means 9 minus 1 8. 8 into beta, which is 20 degree. So 8 into 20, 160 degree. So you can see that you are getting 160 degree. And if you see you are getting short pitched by one slot, so means one slot means 20 degree. So instead of 180 degree, you are having 180 minus um, 1 into 20, because you are short pitched by one slot. So in this way also you can find 160 degree, and in this way also you can find 160 degree. Okay. So here I was discussing this question. So in this way, you can find the coil span irrespective of whether you have a full pitched coil or a short pitched coil. So you can identify, so you can find, so I'll suggest you use this formula. Okay. So this formula will, so let me draw this. So this formula you can use. Or if suppose they have not given you this table in the last assignment, they gave you that short pitched by 2 slots, like this they have mentioned, right? So in that case, you can do like this, that coil span is equal to 180 degree minus short pitched number into beta. So in this way also you can find, okay? So if suppose they have given you information that, okay, it is short pitched by uh, one coil. So 180 minus 1 into beta. So here we have found out that, okay, it is short pitched by one slot, not coil, short pitched by one slot. So 180 minus 1 into beta, like this you can find. So you will see that in the last assignment, they, so this, if they have given you this winding table, you can directly use this formula here, okay? But if they have given you something like this, so in the last assignment they gave you information like this, that coils have 6 turns each and are short corded by 2 slots. So they are telling you that, okay, it is short pitched by 2 slots. Okay, so in this case you have to use this kind of information. Okay, coil span is equal to 180 degree minus 2, because it is 2 here short. So this is short corded or short pitched by 2 slots. And beta, what they have found, so beta they have found 20. So 2 into 20, 40. So their thing is 180 minus 40, which is 140 degree. So you will see that in this example, if somewhere they are asking, so if they have asked this, no, they have not asked this, but in this case it is 140. Okay, like this. So you can use either of this method, okay, depending on the kind of information which they have given. Now, let us go to the next question. This is just the direct formula based question. So, what is the pitch factor for third harmonic? First of all, um, we have to identify that in this example, if you see in this question here, where is the formula? Yes. So you can see that here the formula was cos into K alpha beta by 2 for kth harmonic. Okay. So fundamental was because K for fundamental is 1. So cos alpha beta by 2 is the pitch factor. Now alpha means what is the number of short pitched coils. Okay. So let us come back here. Oh, again it went. एक minute. Okay. So this is the formula, right? Cos K alpha beta by 2, where K is the harmonic number, alpha is the number of short pitch slots. Okay. Beta we know. This is pitch angle. Okay. So here in this formula, you just have to feed. So we know that our alpha in this example we found out to be short pitched by one slot. Okay. So our alpha is 1 in this example. And beta was 20 degree. So alpha beta is 20 degree. So in this formula, you just feed it cos K alpha beta by 2, which is cos 3 into alpha beta is 20, 20 by 2. So if you do this, you will found it to be cos 30. Okay. So we know that cos 30 is root 3 by 2, which is 0.866. Okay. So like this, you just have to feed in the formula. Now, they are asking you to find the phase spread. Now what is this phase spread? So you will see that in our previous question also we were very confused, right, with these terms. In the previous assignment we saw that, okay, what is this, so in the last two questions we were very confused that what is this phase spread, what is this, what you say, coil group. So these things you will know. Coil group, we know what is a coil group. Okay. So we already know that what is a coil group. Okay. So we have seen that this is one coil group. One coil group means the total number of coils for one per pole per phase will give you the total number of coils in one coil group. So this, so you can see that here also you see these are, so there are 6 poles. So 6 poles mean one. So here, so I'll write it here. Okay. So let us say this is south pole, north, south, north, south, north. So you can see that this winding table, in the winding table, you write phases, A phase, B phase, C phase, and then you write the, so you can see that what is the, so total number of slots are 54. So slots per pole, so 6 pole. So slots per pole are, slots per P is 9, and then slots per pole per phase is 9 by 3, which is 3. So that is why you can see that there are 3 coils in one coil group. Okay, so in this way you can find the number of coils in the coil group. Okay, like that. So that is why there are 3 coils in one coil group. So basically M. So slots per pole for phase. So M is equal to slots per pole per phase. Or because we know that for a double layer winding, number of coils is equal to number of slots. So number of coils in a coil group equal to M. Okay. Now phase spread is what? Phase spread is nothing but M into beta. Okay. So you find out coils per pole per phase, coils per pole per phase. So total coils are 54. Okay. And then coils per pole are 54 by 54 by 6, which is 9, because it's a 6 pole machine. Okay. And then coils per pole per phase is equal to 9 by 3, because this is a three phase machine. Okay, so 3. So this is 3, M is 3. Okay, so M is 3, and beta we have found already, so beta is 20 degree. So phase spread is this M into beta. So phase spread for this question is M is 3 and beta is 20, which is 60-degree phase spread. Okay. Now we go to the next question. Okay, so this will change depending on what is the total number of slots, what is the total number of phase, like this. Okay, so that is how it will change. If this is a three-phase machine, suppose they are giving a single-phase machine. So what you will do? Okay, like that. So you have to remember these things. You have to understand. Once you understand, remembering this is not difficult. Okay. Now, distribution factor. So we know what is the formula of the distribution factor. So distribution factor for fundamental is sine m beta by 2 by m sine beta by 2, and distribution factor for kth harmonic is sine m beta by 2 into k by m sine beta by 2 into k. Okay, so here m is 3. What is k? K is also 3 because k is for third harmonic. Okay, and beta is already 20 degree. So this gives you sine m beta by 2 into k by m sine beta by 2 into k, which is this. Okay, so this, if you calculate this, you will get out to be 0.667. Okay, this is a formula based question. This you have to remember. Okay, you have to keep in mind this distribution factor formula, and what you say, this pole pitch this pitch factor formula. Okay, so this is the pitch factor for kth harmonic. Okay, so this two you have to remember. This week is just the continuation of the last week. Okay, just the continuation. So you will see that various questions are similar. Okay, so this is also this, you know how to find the phase spread also. Okay, and this is the distribution factor. So this is the formula. Okay, now interesting question has come, which is different from last week. Okay, now what we have to do in the next four questions, we have to find x, we have to find y, we have to find z, we have to find w dash. Okay, so this we have seen, right, how to find this. So I have told you that this difference. Okay, so now in the next questions we have to find this y, x, z, w dash. Okay, So, so how to find this? So first of all, we know that our beta is found like how? So beta is 180 degree by slots per pole. So we know that okay, 180 degree and this is a 54 slot machine, 54 slots and number of poles are 6. So 6 by 54 is how much? 9 and this is 20 degree. So beta is 20 degree. Okay. Now first of all, how to find this? So let us now see first x because this question is asking for you to fill up the x. Okay. So uh, so we know that the gap from 1 to 9 dash is the coil span. Okay. So in this case, the coil span is, so coil span in the first question we have obtained also in degrees, and coil span in number of slots is 8 number of slots, which in degree is 8 into 20, 160 degrees. Okay, we have seen this. So this gap is coil span. Okay, this gap to this gap. So basically, um, so from 1 to 10, okay, from 10 to 19, 19 to 28, 28 to 37, 37 to 46. This is the gap of 180 degrees. Okay. So this is 180 degrees. This is 180 degrees. This is 180 degrees. This is because we know, first of all, we know that this coil group, the coil group, this axis is number of poles, right? So first pole, second pole, third pole, fourth pole, five pole, six pole, because this is a six pole machine. So this axis is number of poles, and we know that between the two alternate north and south pole, the the electrical angle difference is 180 degree. That is why, because the slots per pole is 9, so 9 slots corresponds to 180 degree. So we know that okay, so from 1 if we have to go to 10, so we have to add plus 9. So 1 plus 9 will give me 10. Okay, similarly for b phase also 7 plus 9 is giving me 16, and for y phase also we will find out. Okay, so here 7 plus 9 is giving me 16. So similarly 2 plus 2 plus so, 2 plus how much is this? 2 plus 9 is giving me 11 and 3 plus 9 is giving me 12. 3 plus 9 is giving me 12, right? So similarly like this, so if I go like this, so 8 plus 9 is giving me 17. So what you do, if you find the first slot like this, so 1 plus 9 is giving you 10, so you know that it will be like what, it will be the क्या कहते हैं, it will be consecutive numbers, so 10 11 12. So here also this will be 16 17 18. Okay, so like this also you can find out. So so like this also you can find out, or you can find out like this, that okay, 7 plus 180 degree give me, so 180 degree corresponds to 9, which is slots per pole. So 7 plus 9 is 16, so 8 plus 9 is 17, 9 plus 9 is 18. So like this also you can arrive at value of 18, which is the value of x. Or you can also do it like this, that okay, once you enter in another pole, so like 7 plus 9, another pole is 180 degree apart, so 16 you have entered. Now it will be consecutive numbers, 16 17 18 in one coil group. Okay, so in one coil group you will see that all are consecutive numbers, 1 2 3 10 11 12 19 20 21, like that there are consecutive numbers. So here also 7 8 9 16 17 18, like that there are consecutive numbers. Okay, so in this way you can find out the value of x. So you, for finding the value of x, you have to remember that from one pole, north pole to south pole, any of the two alternative poles, the angle difference is 180 degree. So 180 degree you have to find that okay, how many slots per pole in your, for your given data corresponds to 180 degree. So in our data it corresponds to 9, so 9 slots will give me 180 degree. So in this way I can enter into the another pole like this. Okay, so in this axis you have to go by 180-degree logic. Okay, on this axis. Is this question clear? Is this question clear? Yes, yes. Okay. Okay. So these questions are very simple. Once you understand this, it's not difficult, that difficult. Okay. So now what we have to now find? We have to now find the value of y. Okay. So let us see how to find the value of y. So first of all, we know that okay, our slots per pole are how many? 54 by 6, which is 9. So this one pole means 9 slots, and 9 slots means 180-degree. Okay. And then beta was what? Beta was 180-degree by slots per pole. So this is 180-degree by 9, which is 20-degree. Now, here also there are two methods. One is you have to find out how many slots make 120-degree. Okay, because we know that we have seen that A phase to B phase to C phase. So this is A phase, B phase, C phase in a three-phase distributed winding. From A phase to B phase, there has to be 120-degree phase shift. And from B phase to C phase, there has to be another 120-degree phase shift. So we have to find out that how many number of slots make 120-degree. So let us say that I'm denoting it by some uh, some number. Let us say m. M is already used. So let us say T. Okay. So T. So T into 20-degree should give me 120-degree. So T in this case is 120-degree by 20, which is 6. So 6 into 20 will give me 120-degree. The so what you say so for getting 120-degree phase difference, I have to keep a slot difference of 6 slots. Now let us see what is method 2. Now in method 2, what we do is we find out slots per phase. So what is the slots per phase? Which is T. So slots per phase T is equal to total number of slots is 54 and divided by phases. Okay. So divided by 3. No, I'm doing some mistake. What was this? So here slots per phase only, right? Mm, slots um per phase will not give me this. So okay. Hmm. Okay, so let us now, for now I think that is valid for some other case, so let us just not go by this. Okay, you just see this. Okay, so in this way, you know that okay, 6 slots are making up 120-degree. Okay, why that slots per phase is not valid here? I think because it is a short pitched coil kind of thing. Okay, that is why. So you calculate the slots per, so T is what you say, this phase shift. T slots corresponding to 120-degree phase shift. Okay, so we know that okay, so 6 slots correspond to 120-degree phase shift. So here you will see that 1 plus 6, which is the slot difference for 120-degree, gives us 7. So 7 plus 6 will be how much? 13, right? Yes. So that is why the correct answer is 13. Okay, so this y corresponds to 13. So in this way, you can find out the like this. Okay, so this first you have to find the t, which is the slots corresponding to 120-degree phase shift. Because from A to B, this is 120-degree. So this A to B, so let me do this. Okay, so this A to B is 120 degree, and from B to C it is another 120 degree, right? Like this diagram. So that is why from 1 plus 6 we arrived after 120 degree in B phase, and from 7 plus 6 after 120 degrees we arrive in C phase. So like this we get 13. Okay. Now we will see the next question. Now in the next question we have to find the value of Z. Okay. So Z is here. Z is here. Okay. So let us now do that. So we know this is 13. Okay. So this will be 14. This will be 15. Now we have to see what? So slots per pole is how many? 54 by 6, which is 9 slots. So 9 slots corresponds to 180 degree. Okay. So 13 plus 9 is how much? 13 plus 9 is 22. You can also enter this 22 from here also, because 16 plus from the last question we know that okay, this is 6, right? 120 degree phase shift. So from 16 plus 6 you enter in 22. Okay, like that. So 22, 23, 24. Because we know that in one coil group the numbers are consecutive: 13, 14, 15, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, 18, 19, 20, like this, 22, 23, 24. Okay, now from 24 I have to go to this end. So this is 180 degrees. Okay, so this is 180 degrees. Okay, so I think this color is better because I'm sharing, right? So it will not be that clear. So, okay. So we know this is 13, from 7 plus 6, 13. 8 plus 6, 13, 14, 15 are consecutive numbers. Then after that, this is 16. So 16 plus 6 is how much? 16 plus 6 is 22, or you can also do 13 plus 9 is 22. So you can enter this in either ways. Okay. If you enter it like this is 120 degree. If you enter like this is 180 degree. Okay. So 22 and then consecutive numbers 23, 24, and then this is 180 degree. So 24 plus 9, which is 33. Okay, so this z is equal to 33. Okay, so you have to know that if you're going in this axis, so this is 180 degree phase shift, because on this axis you have number of poles, and we know that consecutive poles have 180 degree phase shift. Okay, and on this axis it is 120 degree phase shift, because this indicates number of phases, and we know that consecutive phases have 120 degree phase shift. Okay, so by using this information we are finding all this x, y. Okay, now we found out z. Okay, so this is z, and we will now find out w dash, I guess, in the next question. So in the next question we have to find the value of w. Okay, so I think they're indicate so they are I think they have missed a dash. Okay, w dash. Okay, so now we can find out. So very quick way to find out is like this. So this is 45 dash, right? Now if we move in this axis we can just get this in one step. Okay, so in this axis what is the phase shift? So so you see on this axis we have what you say number of phases, which is one. So here This is number of phases, and 120-degree phase shift between two consecutive phases. So we will use this to arrive in one step only. Okay. So we have found that okay, 6 is the uh, T, which is so this is what slots corresponding to 120-degree phase shift in this question. So this is 6. So 45 plus 6 is 51. Okay. So like this W dash is 51. Okay. Like this. Actually, they asked W only because we know that this is a double layer binding, right? So for a double layer binding, we know that the top one is called W, and this they are calling it as W dash. So basically 51 and 51 dash. So they are saying W, which is fine only. Okay. This is not wrong. Okay. See, because they have asked it, because when you are entering in that numerical answer type questions, you can only enter the numbers, right? That is why they're asking you to enter it without the prime symbol, okay, without this dash symbol. Okay. So now in the next question, um, so in this next question, what we have to do is that here they're asking you that each coil can carry at most 5 ampere current. Okay, so this coil, let us say the coil between 1 and 9 dash can carry 5 ampere current. So how much is the maximum amount of phase current that this machine can supply if the coils are connected appropriately? So we know that if we have to increase the current rating of a machine, okay, then we have to connect the coils in parallel. Oh, sorry. So in one phase, so parallel means so you have one coil group. So in a machine, if the coil groups, okay. So first of all, there are how many coil groups? One coil group, two coil group, three coil group in one phase. Okay, coil groups per phase because they're asking us to maximum amount of phase current. Okay, so that is why we are looking only in one phase. Let us say A phase. Four, five coil group, six coil group. So coil groups are equal to number of poles. Coil groups per phase. ठीक है? So number of poles. So these, if you connect these six coil groups, okay, so it is like this. So so first of all, these three, so if you connect these coil groups in parallel, okay, so if you connect coil groups in parallel, so if we have to increase, then we have to connect the coil groups in parallel. Okay, so coil groups in parallel. So if I connect the coil groups in parallel, then what will happen? I will get this 5 ampere into 6 coil groups as 30 ampere. Okay, so this is the maximum rating of the machine which you can, maximum current rating which you can obtain. Okay, so in this way you can do this. Sorry. So if you have to increase the maximum current rating, then we have to connect the coil groups in parallel. Okay. Now, if they are asking you that EMF induced in each coil is 50 volt. Okay. So how much is the maximum phase voltage that this machine can produce if the coil groups are connected appropriately? Okay. So um, we get maximum EMF when coil groups are connected in series, which is generally the case also, okay? Which is generally the case. If nothing is mentioned, this is how the coil groups are actually connected in the machine, okay? Generally the case. So here, so they are saying that in each coil you are getting 50 volt, okay? So what you will do is that, so first of all, these coils are also connected in series. So EMF, so they are saying 50 volt in each coil. So 50 volt in each coil means in a coil group there are three such what you say coils, okay? So EMF in uh, three coils for a coil group, because in our coil group there are three coils, one, two, three, okay? So in this EMF in three coils will be 50 into 3, 150 volt. But remember there will be distribution factor. Okay. So there will be distribution factor. So EMF due to distribution factor is 50 into 3, 150 into KD, which you can find. Now, if suppose this is a generalized thing, but because there is a short pitched also, because they're asking that the maximum phase voltage that this particular machine can produce, okay, but in this particular machine there is a short pitching also, right? So you also have to take into consideration the KP, which they have not taken, which they should take. Okay, in the solution they should take KP also, because if they were asking, okay, in general, so in general, if they would have mentioned maximum phase voltage, I understand, they, I think they got confused that maximum phase voltage you will get when the KP is 1, which is the full pitched coil, but this machine is already connected like this, like they are saying that this machine can produce. If they would have said that this machine can produce, yeah, so I think maybe they want to say that, okay, that this machine can also produce like this, that if suppose what you say, that if suppose you make it full pitched, so if you make it full pitched, then this machine can produce the maximum EMF. I think that is what they mean to say, that is why they have not taken KP, okay? So they have, so if they have mentioned it like this, that this machine, the maximum voltage it can produce, so we know the maximum voltage when we obtain when the pitch factor is 1. So maximum voltage for full pitched coil at Kp equal to 1. So that is why here when they are getting the EMF per coil, distribution factor is always there, but Kp can be made 1 by making this connection full pitched. That is why this Kp they have taken as 1. Okay, so this is 50 into 3 into Kd. So Kd you can find it like this. Okay, so Kd is sine m beta by 2 by m sine beta by 2. Okay, so if you do this, you will get, suppose say 144 volt. But this is the voltage of in one coil group. Okay, so voltage in one coil group. Okay, but there are six coil groups in one phase. So if you connect six coil groups in series, then you will get 144 into 6. Okay, so this will be around 863, something like this. Okay, so like this you can get. So is this clear what I am saying here? Till now, is this clear? If there is any doubt, please ask. Okay, because this is very important for you to understand these questions, because you see the two assignments have these kind of questions only, consecutive two assignments. So in that final exam also you will at least find some considerable number of questions from these two. Okay, so that is why you have to understand this. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So if you have any doubt, please ask. Okay. Yes. See, it's not about neglecting. They are saying that maximum phase voltage that this machine can produce. Now, see, if the coil groups are connected appropriately, they are saying that you connect the coil groups, you make the connections. So, if we have to put the coils, then if we have to get maximum EMF, then we will put it at the full pitched, right? Because they are saying if the coil groups are connected appropriately. So that is why we are making the connection now. So that is why we are making it series. Sometimes we are making parallel. That is why took it KPS 1. Okay. So yes. So that is it. Okay. So anyone else want to ask? Nitin, you want to ask something? You have a doubt, Nitin? You raised your hand. Okay. So if you have no doubt, then I'm proceeding. Okay. Okay. This is having again the problem. Okay. So um now we will see this one another question. So here they're asking you to estimate the total kVA rating of this machine. So you can take the kVA rating as what you say if the coils are connected in series. Okay. So per phase kVA will be what? Because in series we are connecting the coils like this. So 1 minute. So just erase this. So you see here in this here also you see the final diagram which sir has drawn. Okay. Now you can see when the series connection is made like this, then all coils are connected in series, which is generally the case also. Okay. So it means that what will be the voltage rating? It will be this if the all coil groups are connected in series, and in each of the coil groups the two coils are also connected in series, then you will get maximum voltage. And what will be the current rating? Current rating will be the current passing through one coil, because all the coils are connected in series like this. So you can see that all the coils are connected in series. So the current rating will be the current rating of one coil. Okay. So that is why you can find this uh, kVA rating by taking the generalized case. Okay. So kVA rating is the maximum voltage due to series connection, because this is how in the actual machine also it is connected like this. Okay. Into uh, coil current rating. So in the question, it was said that coil current rating is 5 ampere. So this is 5. And the maximum voltage due to series connection, we have seen it is 863.8. So here it will be 863.8. So you will get something like 4.319 kVA. You can do it in the for the parallel connection also, you will find the same thing. Okay. But we are not interested in this. Okay. So what we are interested in, we are interested in what you say the. So you see, this is the kVA rating per phase. Remember, because we did it for one phase, right? But they are asking three phase kVA rating. Okay, so that is why it is important to read the question. Either they are asking three-phase kVA rating or per phase kVA rating, right? So they are asking three-phase kVA rating, so it becomes 3 into the per phase kVA. Okay, which is 3 into 4.319. So this is 12.96 kVA. Okay, this is a very simple question. Um, so seeing the last two question before seeing the last two questions, okay, we will see something else. Okay, we will see the last assignment two questions. Okay, because you will now be able to relate it very easily. It will be very easy for you to relate. Okay, so so here in the last assignment, you see this formula which we obtained, right? Root 2 pi f phi n kp kd. You see this is what? This is written as E11 dash. So E11 dash or whatever, if suppose depending. So it means EMF of one coil. Okay. This is EMF of one coil. Very important. Okay. This is EMF of one coil. So in this formula, we know root 2 pi. We have found flux per pole phi in this. You can see the previous assignment. Okay. So we have found flux per pole using this formula. Okay. Phi. So this is flux per pole phi. We have also obtained frequency. We know it as 60. Okay. The number of turns is 6. KPKD also we know. Okay. But what is this 3? You know, this 3 is because they're asking the RMS value of the EMF generated per coil group. So let us see how many number of coils in coil group. Okay. So number of coils in a coil group, okay, is equal to total number of slots, okay, per pole. So not so I'll write it like this. So this is equal to slots per pole per phase equal to M. For a double layer winding, remember, because for double layer winding, number of slots is equal to total number of coils. Okay, so you will see that in this example, we have 54 slots, we have 6 number of poles, and there are 3 phase. So you will see that M will come out to be 54 by 6 into 3, which is 3. So here there are three coil groups. Okay. So we know what is a coil group, right? We have seen that we can in our winding table we have ABC and then we have like what you say poles, right? Pole 1, pole 2, pole 3, pole 4, pole 5, pole 6. So here in under one pole, so this column, this cell is basically a coil group. Okay. Now in this coil group, how many number of coils are there? That is equal to M for double layer winding. So it is 3. So that is why this 3 is coming because in one coil group per coil group because generally in for you see as I said right in generally in the if nothing is specified you have connected all the coils in a coil group in series and also all the coil groups in series. Okay, that is generally done to get the maximum EMF induced. Okay, that is the convention which is followed. So if nothing is mentioned, whether the connection is parallel or anything, you consider it as series connection. Okay, so the total number of coils. So what is the coil group? So what will be the EMF of one? So this is the EMF of one coil. But what will be the EMF of a coil group? It will be EMF of one coil per total number of coils in a coil group. Okay, so this we have seen it is 3. So that is why in remember we were unable to know what is this 3. So that is that 3. Okay, so 3 is the total number of coils in a coil group and this is the EMF of a one coil. Okay, so this is EMF of one coil. Okay. Now they are saying that maximum RMS, for getting the maximum RMS value, which we generally connect also. So that can be obtained from this machine with an appropriate connection of all the coil groups in a phase. So they are basically telling you to connect all the coil groups in series, right? Because for getting the maximum EMF, we have seen in the earlier question also that we have to connect all in series, right? So if we connect in series, then what it will be? It will be EMF into number of coil groups. Okay, so EMF we have obtained from this question for one coil group. So EMF for one coil group, we have obtained this value after multiplying the EMF of one coil with the coils in the coil group. So this is 3, so we multiplied 3 with EMF of one coil, so we get voltage in one coil group. And there are 6 coil groups or 6 number of poles. So under each pole there is one coil group in one phase. So we are connecting all these coil groups in series to get the maximum EMF, which we did just right now for getting the maximum EMF, right? So if we connect all this in series, means you have to multiply this voltage by 6. So you will get the maximum EMF if you connect. So max for getting maximum EMF. So for getting maximum EMF, we connect all the coil groups in series. Okay, and this is the convention. This is generally what is done also. We conventionally want the maximum EMF. Okay, we do not do parallel connection. We do like this only. Okay, so this was the previous assignment. Now let us see the uh, now come back to our assignment. Okay. Now we will see some conceptual questions. So they're asking you that if all the three phases of this machine are connected in series and then fed from a single phase AC supply, then then the produced air gap flux will be. Okay. So first I will discuss the air gap flux for three-phase supply. Three-phase supply air gap flux. Okay. And now for this question, that if you're connecting them in series and only giving one phase supply. So first of all, let us see. Okay, so you will see that MMF of A phase, MMF of B phase, MMF of C phase from the sir's lectures, and even in the standard books like Fitzgerald or Kingsley, like these kind of standard books, you will see that the EMF induced is given like this. Okay, N um, NIA into cos omega t. NI cos omega t नहीं है. Okay. NIA cos theta. NIA cos theta minus 120. NIA cos theta plus 120. Okay. So you will see that the MMF which we were seeing, right? That these you see in the last lecture, just to go back. Okay. So in the last lecture, we discussed this, right? That what we discussed, where it is. Okay, so I discussed it here. Okay. So you see that we discussed, you can see this lecture of sir also, and you can see this my discussion also. So you will see that because of the this distribution, like because how the windings are placed in the slots, you will get the maximum MMF like this. Okay, so MMF, MMF or EMF, both you will get sinusoidal like this. Okay, so that is why sir was also writing this Bmax sine theta. Okay, so I have written it as Bmax cos theta because I've taken cos theta. You can take anything, but you understand it is sinusoidal. Okay, you can approximate it as sinusoidal. Okay, but this is, remember, due to space distribution. So even so, I'll tell you what does this mean. Okay, so Okay. So it means that so if suppose in of IA, so it is like this, that you have three faces. So you have three faces in the thing, right? So you have your stator like this. Okay. And if it is a salient pole machine like this, so you have rotor and this is stator. Now in the stator, you are giving these three phases, IA, IB, IC. Now if suppose these three currents are sinusoidal, if suppose these three currents are DC, let us say for case one, IA is equal to IB is equal to IC is equal to IDC. So you will see that your MMF for DC currents will be N IDC cos theta. MMF for B phase for DC current will be NIDC cos theta minus 120, and MMF for C phase will be NIDC cos theta plus 120. So if you add the MMFs for the DC currents, okay, so if you add the MMFs for DC current, so total MMF in air gap, okay, for DC current, you will see it will be NIA cos theta plus NIA, because IA I have given DC, so this is NIDC cos theta plus NIDC cos theta minus 120 plus NIDC cos theta plus 120. Okay, so if you add the three, you will see that it will come out to be 0. So if you give DC, now there will be no MMF. Okay, that is why we give sinusoidal. Okay, so we give sinusoid. So instead of IA, IB, IC, instead of giving IA, this is IB, this is IC. Okay, so instead of giving IA, IB, IC as DC, we give it as a three-phase balanced sinusoidal supply. So what does this mean? So so for three-phase balanced supply, so IA is let us say Im sine omega t. IB is Im sine omega t minus 120. IC is Im sine omega t plus 120. Okay, so this is the case. So if you give it like this, then what will happen is that, let us now do this. Okay, so this MMF A plus MMF B plus MMF C. You see this theta means space angle. The space angle comes due to the distribution of the windings. And omega t is because you are giving the supply with the time lag and time, what you say, balanced supply in time. Okay. So this is balanced in space because you have made the windings like this, and this is because you see we put it in the particular slot, right, after 120 degree and all that for taking into consideration. So due to that, there is there is theta and there is omega t because of the time variance. So if you do this, then you can do this, you can, instead of this here in this formula, you can replace this IA, IB, IC with this, and if you multiply your trigonometric identities, you will see it will come out to be like this. Mm, Sine omega t minus theta. So you can see that it is, first of all, it is sinusoidal and it is rotating in space. Okay, so your MMF normally is sinusoidal and it is rotating in space. Okay, so it is sinusoidal with time and it is also rotating in space. So that is the situation of the MMF normally. But now they're asking you to do like this. So they are saying that if all the three phases of this machine are connected in series, okay, and then fed from a single phase AC supply, okay, so what will happen? So let us see now. So here it is like this, that then what will happen? So I IA is equal to IB is equal to IC is equal to Im sine omega t, and then your MMF A plus MMF B plus MMF C, it will be um, N, कहाँ गया? Yes. So here in the place of IA, I have to write this. So this is N Im sine omega t. So it will be uh, cos theta plus cos theta minus 120 plus cos theta plus 120. Okay. So you will see that MMF will come out to be 0. They have given it wrong. Okay. This is MMF will come out to be 0. If it will be when it will be pulsating, I will tell you. It will be pulsating when only you are giving one phase supply to one phase. You're not giving it to three phases. You're only giving it to one phase. So let us say you are giving it to only I phase. Okay. And IB is 0, IC is 0. Then MMF total will be only due to MMF A, and it will come out to be N Im sine omega t cos theta. Okay. So you can apply your trigonometric identities. You will see that it will come out to be what you say pulsating. Okay. So this question, I think it should be 0, but I'll again cross-check you seeing the books and confirm it. But I from this mathematics which I have obtained it as 0. Okay. So like this. Now, this you remember that if A, B, C phases of this machine are start connected and then fed from a balanced supply, then the air gap flux will rotate in which direction? Okay, so you will see that the air gap flux will rotate from R, R phase to Y phase to B phase. Okay, if you have given it the same sequence, if you give R, Y, B phase sequence supply, then your this you can also obtain from mathematics. Okay, then your MMF will rotate from R phase to Y phase to B phase, and if you give RBY supply, then your MMF will rotate from R phase to B phase to Y phase. Okay, it will just follow the supply of the supply sequence. Okay, so you will see that this is the slot. So you will see that in our diagram also the first R phase slots comes, then Y phase slots come, then B phase slots comes, because you see we obtained 180 degree, we kept 180 degree phase shifts like this only, right? You see in these questions 180 degree bol rahi hu, sorry, 120 degree. Okay, so this is 120. So we kept our phase sequence like this only, right? We obtained always the 120 degree phase shift on in this axis, if you remember. So that is why, because your this distribution is R by B in winding distribution is in space is like this. That is why first the R phase slots are coming, then Y phase slots will come. You see the slot number also. You see how are the slot number. So this was 13, remember? So you see this was 1. First first A phase came, then B phase came, and then C phase is coming. That is why here also it is slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, and then again B phase will come, and then C phase slots will come. That is why you have to select option A. Okay. This question I will verify. I think this is 0. They have somehow given the wrong answer. I'll just confirm it to you, because from this maths it is coming like this. Okay. And we will what you say, then we will see in the next class then. Okay, if this is the thing, but so for now this is the things. Okay, I have discussed you various things, so if you follow these questions you can easily solve your assignment. Okay. So that is it for today's class. So I'm stopping the class here. If there is any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'm stopping the session today here. Okay.
Yes, Sakshi.
Ha, okay.
Is there anything which we can get from kind of a consolidation in this class?
Um, Actually, what you will see that there is some discussion of these formulas. Formulas discussed you will see in the Thereja or Bhimra also you can see. Okay, PS Bhimra. You can PS Bhimra electrical machines. Okay, so you can see that. But if you want to read it in depth, like if you want to see these kind of questions, right? These kind of questions are for dis- decide toppers. Okay, so those who understand this, for them these things are a piece of cake. Okay, so if you want to if you want to solve these kind of, if you want to have an understanding of machines, working of machines, then for that you can see PC cross. Okay.
PC.
Hmm. Okay. Bhimra is for basic things for BTech level, and PC cross is little bit on the postgraduate MTech level. Okay.
Yes.
KRAUS. So I'll write it in the chat box. Where is the chat box? Yeah, so it is like this. So I'll just type it here.
Yeah.
So I'll just write into the assignment 4 only. Okay, at the end.
Yeah.
So here, so let me insert a text box. Okay. So PS PS Bhimra for basic formulae. Okay. And PC cross. Okay. For these kind of derivations. Okay. For more understanding, you can say. Okay. Okay. अच्छा ये क्या टाइप हो गया Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so these are the books. Okay.
Actually, one last point
हाँ
regarding these assignments. The first two assignments I was not able to complete it.
Okay.
Say, I am also good exams. So, will this affect the score?
I think there are some assignment questions marks also. Like each assignment carries some marks. I actually do not know this marks distribution. This is known by the professor who has set it, and professor generally communicates it with the NPTEL administration. So you will see that there is something called a support NPTEL at the rate IITM dot. You can mail them. Maybe they will say that your marks will reduce a little bit because each assignment has some marks, but most of the marks are from the class tests है ना. Most marks are from the class tests and exams. Okay. हाँ. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay then. So I'm stopping the session here. Okay, so you can leave if you have no other doubt. I'm also leaving. Okay. Hmm. So okay then, Nitin, you can also leave. Okay. I'm also stopping the session here today.